In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the sim results and talk about how you can swap parts out and maybe blend a little bit, key some animated blends. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here I have the setup for the final sim that I ran, which was version 58. But as you may recall earlier, I may have mentioned in other videos, I did like the results for version 44 as well. So I've completed all the way through 44. 44 is here, you can see. And I also have version 58 here. So let's just look at some of these videos real quick of the results. Here you see side-by-side version 44 and 58. There's some problems with 44 with the belts, etc. that 58 solves. And right here you can see how the resting of the cloak, and then it comes back up. Some of the good parts of each one of these sims are in the main cloak itself. So I really like version 44 as it kind of comes down and drapes a little better than 58 in this point right here. So you can kind of see what that is. I kind of like how that drapes there. I really like how it kind of has this nice shape on 44, whereas on 58 it feels like this side's kind of stiff and stuck there, and this one feels kind of stiff too. And then when we lift up, there's this really weird pop that kind of happens on this side on 58, even though I'm okay with it. But you can see here, visibly see that the sword is penetrating here. So in that case, I do like version 44 at this point. Let's go ahead and show you the possibilities of what we can do to blend these sims together. Here we have version 58, you can see inside of our setup here. This is what we're looking at. Now, if we pull out here, I can show you several examples of ways we can blend the entire sim. So if we look at this, this is the blend shape node, and it has two inputs, first input and the second output, and it has a slider here. So you can key this slider to go back and forth. So if I were looking at this alone, when I go down into the squat, I would go into version 44. It would blend into version 44, and then it would stay 44. And then when I came out, it would go back to version 58. So now one thing I might want to do is just leave it 44 for the rest. So this is one option ahead of me here. So blending full versions of 44 and 58, the entirety of the cloak. However, what if I wanted to blend just a certain part, like this back flap or the right front flap? You can paint an attribute. So if I wanted to blend just this area here, say I want to blend more of it because it's not blending properly, so I can paint this. And this one is the back left flap. Let's just increase this area here so we can blend the upper part of this flap as well as the lower flap. Paint that out. Let's get a little smooth going on here. Once these attributes are painted, with a little bit of Vex, let me show you the Vex here, you can pull in a slider. You can generate yourself a little slider that kind of does similar to what the blend shape node does, but it gives you a 1 to 0 kind of mix, but it only does it on the area that you paint. So this particular one is on the front right flap, so that when I'm in this spot right here, I am getting the results of 44 painted here. And if we look at that color, that one is the color attribute that I painted on this guy is a slightly different one, so it's this one right here, right front flap. So the right front flap is now blending in version 44 right here, and right around the crux of the arm is a good place to do that. That one's happening right here in the right front flap. On the back left flap, so you can see where I'm blending in version 44 and where version 58 is kind of blended out right here. So we can leave that one going until the end of the sim. So just showing all the possibilities here for blending. You can blend parts of a sim to another sim or blend whole versions over time. Anyway, once you have a cloak you like, you can just merge it with the non-cloak version, which is this one. So I think I'm going to take maybe the blended sections version, and I'll make a quick movie out of that, and then I'll decide whether I want to go with that or not. Here's the result movie of blending sims 44 and 58. 44 in the right front and back left flaps, and they go down into this squat. There we go, it's not too bad. Sometimes blending caches is all you have. You've run out of time on a show, and that's the best you've got. I'm going to run a safety sim in the background where I reduce the stiffness of my cloak and see what we get, but for now I think I'm going to go with this.